Hi guys, and welcome back to I Speak English. My name's Haley, and in this class we're going to be taking a look at common mistakes in English made by Italian speakers. So if you speak Italian or your native language is Italian, this video is for you. If you don't speak Italian, this video might not be so useful for you, but do take a look at the rest of the videos on my channel because you'll probably find something useful there. So in this class, I'm going to be showing you a bunch of common grammar errors that Italian speakers often make because they're translating directly from Italian into English. So you probably made at least one or two of these mistakes before. But before we take a look at those mistakes, please do make sure you are subscribed and you hit the bell so that you get a notification from me every time I upload a new video. There's new videos every Saturday, so if you want to learn every week, you can. Just make sure you hit the bell and you hit that subscribe button as well. All right, let's get started. Alright, so let's take a look at our common errors then. So the first error that I hear a lot from my students is often wrong word order, especially with adjectives. I hear this all the time, even from advanced speakers sometimes I hear this mistake. So let's say, for example, that you want to say this phrase in English. Lei ha comprato una bella borsa nera. How would you say that in English? An Italian speaker might say something like, she bought a beautiful bag black, which is not correct. Okay, adjectives always come before the noun in English, even if you have multiple adjectives. So the correct way to say this would be, she bought a beautiful black bag. Okay, so adjectives always before the noun. There's also another interesting thing about adjectives in English is that there is a specific order that adjectives must come in. So for example, if we take a look at that last sentence, she bought a beautiful black bag. So you've got two adjectives there. You cannot say in English, she bought a black beautiful bag. It sounds very strange to the ear, okay? It's not possible, and that's because we need to use a specific order. So if you try to remember this kind of acronym, OSAS comp, this is going to be your order of adjectives, and that order is opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, purpose. That is the order that adjectives must go in English, okay? Even if you have three adjectives, let's say you have beautiful, you have old, and you have Italian. You need to put it in that order. Beautiful, old, Italian. Because you've got opinion first, then the age, then the origin. You cannot say Italian, beautiful, old. You cannot say old, Italian, beautiful. It doesn't make sense. So if we have another sentence using all of these adjectives, you could say something like, she bought a beautiful, big, new, round, black, Italian, traveling bag. That would be the correct order for all of those adjectives. Okay, so first of all, make sure your adjective is before the noun. And second, if you have multiple adjectives, make sure they're in this order. Remember OSAS comp for the order of your adjectives. Okay, so that's the first kind of major error that I hear a lot from Italian speakers. The second one is pluralization. Okay, so this means that you're putting an S on words that don't need an S. You're making them plural. This happens especially with uncountable nouns. So nouns that are uncountable in English but are countable in Italian. We have a lot of nouns that are uncountable in English but countable in Italian. So one that I hear quite often is with informazioni. So if you wanted to say mi scusi, ho bisogno di alcune informazioni, in English you might say, excuse me, I need some informations. Information in English is uncountable. You cannot put an S on it. So you have to say, excuse me, I need some information. Okay, it's uncountable. You cannot say one information, two informations. It's not possible. So like I said, we do have a lot of uncountable words in English that are countable in Italian, Let's take a look at this list here. Okay, so informazioni, that's a big one. Information, never informations. Consigli, always advice, never advices. It's not possible. Notizie is news, so you do have the S. However, it still functions as a singular noun. Okay, so you would say, I have some news, not many news. Or what is the news, not what are the news. It still functions as a singular noun, even though it has the S. Okay, let's take another look. So I've got notizie, news. Compiti, I hear this one all the time. Italian speakers always say homeworks. It's never homeworks. Never put the S on the end. It's always homework. Okay, a lot of homework, not many homeworks. Bagagli is luggage, not luggages. Soldi is money, never monies. Strangely, you cannot count money in English, it's uncountable. Frutti is fruit, not fruits. Conoscenze is knowledge, not knowledges. Okay, you cannot make knowledge plural, it's only singular. And lavori is work, never works. Again, you have to say, I have a lot of work, not many works. Okay. So all of those there are always singular because they're uncountable in English. Remember them. It's important to make your English sound more natural and more correct. All right, next up, another mistake that I often hear from Italian speakers in lessons is using the present tense incorrectly. Okay, so especially when using the words how long or for or since. So if you want to say this in English, da quanto tempo sei qui? This actually, when I moved to Italy, this sentence always confused me in Italian. I could never answer this sentence correctly because I couldn't understand what tense the Italian speaker was talking in. In my head, in English, it didn't make any sense. Da quanto tempo sei qui? It's like, I was like, are they talking in the future? Like, or are they talking in the past? How long am I going to stay? Or how long have I been here? Like, it was really difficult for me to get my head around this. And this is why you make this mistake in English, because for you it's the opposite way round. So if you want to say da quanto tempo sei qui, you would probably say, for how long are you here? Which is not correct. You cannot use the present tense like this in English. In Italian, you use the present. In English, we use present perfect. Okay, how long have you been here? That's what the question is. So whenever you want to say something with da, how long, or for or since, you need to use present perfect. Okay, I have been here for 10 years. I have lived here for 5 years. Okay. So present perfect for how long, for, and since. That's a big one. I hear it all the time. So make sure you remember that. And also, if you're not sure whether you're making errors like this, there's a really good way to correct your speaking. And that's an app called 5 Minute English. It's fantastic. What you do, basically you choose a topic, you choose what you want to talk about, and then you speak and you record yourself talking or answering the specific question, and then it will change your speech to text, and then it will correct all of your grammar and your vocabulary. So you will know if you're making mistakes like this one or like any of the others that I show you. So it's a fantastic app. You can download it from Google Play. I'll put the link in the description. If you're interested in it, you can download it there and you can take a free trial. Try it out and see if you enjoy it. So the link's in the description if you want to practice your speaking and get some corrections. We're going to move on to the next one. Okay, double negatives. This is a big one, another really common one. So you use double negatives a lot in Italian. For example, you might say something like non abbiamo detto niente. So you've got non and niente in the same sentence, double negative. If you wanted to say that in English, you might say we didn't say nothing, which is not correct. You cannot say not and nothing in the same sentence. In English, we don't use double negatives. So the correct way to say this is we didn't say anything. Okay, anything is not negative. And that's the same for all your double negatives in Italian, like non mai, non nessuno, non whatever. You never put the double negatives in English. Okay. All right, so that's number 4. Number 5, overusing have. Okay, another one I hear my students do all the time. So you use have a lot in Italian. You have a lot of phrases with avere, so like avere fame, o fame, o sete, o sonno, o freddo, o caldo, o 30 anni. All of these you use avere. In English, you might be tempted to say, I have hunger, I have thirst, I have tired, I have cold, I have hot, I have 30 years. That is not correct. In English, we always use to be. I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am tired, I am cold, I am hot, I am 30 years old. Okay, so watch out with have. It's a very common verb in Italian. It's not so common in English. All right, next up. Everything is beautiful. So in Italian, you always say bella or bello for everything. Everything is beautiful in Italian. Oh, che bella, guarda che bella. In English, we don't use beautiful that much, okay? We only use it, one, for good-looking women. We don't usually use it for men. It's only used for women. And it sounds a bit formal. If you'd say, oh, you're very beautiful to a woman, it's a bit formal. It's a bit old. You probably say, oh, you're stunning, you're gorgeous, you're lovely, but we don't often say you're beautiful. So we sometimes use it for good-looking women, or we sometimes use it for a view. You'd say, oh, that's a beautiful view. If you're, looking at, I don't know, a beach or a landscape or something like that. So in Italian, you might say, è stata una bella esperienza. In English, you might be tempted to say it was a beautiful experience. We would never say this in English. You don't have a beautiful experience in English. You have a good experience, a great experience, a wonderful experience, but never a beautiful experience. So watch out for the word beautiful. It is not a direct translation of bello or bella in Italian. We don't use it in the same way. All right, on to number 7 then, 4. So again, this is like overusing. I often see this overuse of for when Italians speak in English. And the reason why you do that is, again, because you're directly translating from Italian into English. But we have something in English called infinitive or purpose. So often when you're giving a reason in Italian, you'll use per, and then you'll translate it for, which is not correct in English. So if you wanted to say, sono andato al negozio per comprare del latte, per comprare. In English, you might say, I went to the shop for buy some milk. This is not correct. It sounds very strange. It sounds a bit kind of babyish in a way. So in this way, we would use infinitive of purpose. Infinitive meaning to. So we always use to in English when you're giving a reason for something. I went to the shop to buy some milk. Okay? I became a teacher to help people. I'm studying medicine to become a doctor. Okay, we always use to. It's called infinitive of purpose because you're using the infinitive to give a reason why or to give a purpose. So try to avoid using for and use to instead. All right, next up, third person s. Okay, this is my personal pet peeve of listening to Italian speakers speak English. I usually love listening to Italian speakers because you have a very poetic way of speaking. But the third person s drives me insane as a teacher. And I know it drives other teachers insane as well. What's annoying about third person s is, in English, you don't have to conjugate anything apart from third person singular, right? If you look here, I eat, you eat, we eat, you eat, they eat. The only time you need to conjugate is when you have to add that s, he or she eats. But in Italian, you have to conjugate every single verb, depending on who the subject is, right? So for me, when I was learning Italian, it was a nightmare because every time I needed to use a verb, I had to go through in my head, oh, mangio, mangi, mangia, mangiamo, mangiate, mangiano. It's too much. In English, you've got one conjugation you have to make, and usually all of my Italian students don't bother to add the S, or they forget to add the S. It's one conjugation, that's it. So make the effort to add the S, is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's just easy to forget because you don't have to conjugate everything else. But yeah, when I hear like she eat a pizza or he go here, again, it's like a scratch on my brain, you know, it drives me insane. So please, from a teacher, please add the S. Stop driving us insane. I know you can't help it, and I know sometimes you forget, but please make the effort. It will make your English sound a lot more natural and a lot more advanced if you add that S, okay? Like we said, it's not that much effort. It's one verb that you have to conjugate, not a whole list of them like in Italian. If you can do it in Italian, you can do it in English. All right, rant over. Your last one, your final one, is with the verb stay. So, in Italian, you use stare for a lot of different things, a lot of different phrases. Use the word stare, and stare does not directly translate to stay in English. Okay, so stare is more like, stay is more like restare, like to stay for a long time doing something. So it does not directly translate, and we don't use it the same way that you do in Italian. For example, stare bene. Stare bene is not stay well, it's to be well. Say I am well, or I'm not well. Okay. Stare zitto, you don't stay quiet, you shut up. Okay, or you be quiet. Stare attento, again, you don't stay attention, you watch out for, or you be careful. Stare seduto, you don't stay sitting, you sit down. Stare con qualcuno, you don't stay with someone, you be with someone, or you can use it to date someone as well. Stare al cuore, again, you say to care about or to matter to. This matters to me, or I care about you. So you can see that we do not use stay like you use stare in Italian. So just watch out when you're speaking English. Make sure you have the right verb and you're not just directly translating from Italian into English. All right, so there you go. They are the most common mistakes that I hear as an English teacher from Italian speakers. Just to remind you, like I said before, if you want to practice your speaking and you want to get corrections on your grammar and your vocabulary, you can download 5 Minute English. I'll put the link in the description. You can have a try of that, and hopefully you won't be making any of these mistakes that I just showed you in this video. If this video was helpful for you and you learned something new, please do give it a like. It just helps it to reach more people so that they can learn English as well. And as usual, make sure you are subscribed and you hit the bell so that you can get a notification from me every time I upload a new video. All right, that's all from me for today. I'll see you in a video soon. Bye.